website right now and download my free course on alternate picking mastery. It contains 5 essential exercises that will take you to alternate picking mastery faster than you can imagine. And then I've included my method of how to lay out a practice plan in just 1 to 2 minutes that will absolutely boost your results like nothing you ever tried before. So go download it right now. It's free. Just a little word about moving in to something, because that's such an important principle when you practice, is that you stay with things long enough, right? If you, for instance, want to learn, I'm just going to give you a couple of examples here so you really get this principle. If you want to learn scales, and you want to learn to play in different keys. I once had the idea that I could, practice playing the minor pentatonic scale in 12 different keys over a week, and then I would learn them. And I did that over and over and over again, and I just played the A, just back and forth. And it never happened. It was like, why isn't anything happening with my skills? And it's simply because you go from, it's like moving into a city. Just imagine you have a huge city like New York or London or whatever, and you live in one part of it on a hostel, and then next day you move to another part, and then a third part, and then a fourth part. Next day, sixth part, or fifth part, right? So you go back and forth all the time. It takes you forever. It takes your whole life to learn the city and where things are and how the streets are connected, because you just wake up in a new location, totally unrelated to the one you were in just a second ago or just a day ago. So you'll never learn, and you just wonder, I've been living here for 10 years now, I still don't know how anything connects in here, right? And the same thing goes when we keep jumping back and forth, D major, C major, whatever, right? It doesn't happen. What do you have to do if you want to learn the city really well? You want to move into a neighborhood and live there for so long that you can visualize the whole freaking thing in your head, right? I'll go down groceries, and that's Johnny living there, and then I go, and that's the church, and you realize, oh, this street is connected to that. I didn't know that. You walk down the street and you suddenly, oh, I'm here. And then, over time, because you live there each and every day, you learn that part of the city, and then you can move to another one. I know basically every street corner in Copenhagen because I lived, the capital of Denmark, if you didn't know. And Denmark is not the capital of Sweden. It's its own country, if you didn't know. But we're so small that people, Denmark, what is that? But so I lived there for like a year, and then I lived in the other part for 2 years, and then so I know every area of Copenhagen like it was my own pocket. And you need to do the same thing with scales. You need to move in to the C major pentatonic or the A minor pentatonic, and then stay there across the fretboard. Play jam tracks in that key, practice sequences in that key. Whenever you practice licks, you practice it in that key for a month. Right? Or for 2 months. So you become so familiar with it, you don't have to say, okay, where's the A's? You just see the freaking pattern because you've been spending so much time there. And you use the principle at an even smaller level. You stay in the first position of A for a week, right? Then you stay, let's say, in the third position for a week and get to know exactly that shape with those frets in that specific place on the fretboard. Then you get to know for a week. And then you've been playing an A for a month and you have 4 shapes down. And then you take the 5th shape, the 5th week, right? And then you stay there for, the 3 remaining weeks of the 2 months perhaps on all the different. So you really have to move in and make yourself really familiar with anything. If you see a new lick or hear a new lick and you really want to learn it, then don't rely on the freaking tabs. Learn it well enough, move into it so you have it in your body. Spend the first 10 to 15 minutes doing that so you can, take it with you. And then make sure you play it every single day when you pick up your guitar so you become so familiar with it that it's as easy as breathing in and breathing out. Move into it. Stay there for long enough for you to become super familiar with it. Oh, but Claus, there are, 12 different keys, so you spend 2 months on one key, then 24 months, right, on just learning all the keys. Well, it isn't like that. The magic is that if you do this, then just learning one key and learning exactly where the shapes are in relation to the dots on the fretboard will make it much easier to learn the next one, because now your brain has these positions. So everything you see with the new key is going to be seen in relation to what you know so well. So let's say I've been practicing the C major pentatonic, right? And then I'm suddenly practicing the C minor pentatonic for a month or 2 months, right? And suddenly I see the old shapes there. So everything is positioned and placed in relation to what I know already. So I see that shape. Oh, how peculiar. It's just, it's on top of the major shape that I know. So you actually, and that's just, it becomes a grid where you add a new thing, and you see every new thing in relation to what you already have in there. Right? Every new street in relation to the streets you know. So you learn faster and faster. And this is, part of the magic or the principle of mastery, that you stay with it. Don't go on before you absolutely master it. What does that mean? It's effortless. It's no effort. Blech, right? And instead of it always being, let me just give me a second. You don't have a second when the music's playing in the background, right? It has to be instant, everything. So mastery is the only way. So I hope you know what I mean here. And of course, this principle applies to everything. Also applies to learning licks and learning sequences. If you leave it too fast and you don't move into it so it becomes so familiar, then you won't learn anything. Right? I can live in that same city for 10 years, and I won't have connected any streets, anything, because everything's a mess. It's just a mess of trying to, which is the intermediate level. Subscribe for more free videos. Do it. Do it now. Do it.